Hey, everybody.
Hey, everybody. We were just, anyway, doesn't matter. Welcome back to the Bigfoot Hangout live with Lindsay and Charlie Raymond of the KBRO. And thank you, everybody.
K-Bro.
K-Bro.
K-Bro. Do you know it, when you say quick, it's K-Bro.
K-Bro.
Yeah.
All right. Thank K-Bro.
With the K-Bro.
K-Bro. Thanks, everybody, for joining us tonight. We were in debate a little bit about what to do. That light is so bloody bright again. Anyway, we were ADD brain. We were in debate about what to do for tonight's show, and I think I can speak for all of us, most of us, pretty significant number of us, that we are probably all somewhat still in shock over the loss of Dr. Jeff Meldrum last night. For me, I know especially it's still sinking in. It's very surreal, hard to believe that
You said last night. It was last week.
Okay, bro. Last Tuesday, I think it was. Yeah, so we figured that we would make tonight's show a tribute show, and Charlie's got some lovely things that he wants to say as well.
Say hi, everybody. Welcome. I still get excited seeing the same people, a lot of our friends. Thank you for the support.
Well, let's go through, because I love to check out who's in the chat.
All right, we'll say hi to everybody real quick. Go ahead.
All right, so from the top, Debbie's here. Hey, Debbie. Your sister Mary is here. Welcome, Mary. Jamie Cox. Jamie, I was saying recently I'd not seen you in the chat for a little while, so it's good to see your name there. I might have just missed you, and I was gone for a couple of weeks too. But anyway, it's good to see you back in the chat. Where was I? Greg is here. Hey, Greg. And Judy, his lovely wife, my good friend Judy, is here. Who else? Shelby's here. Hey, Shelby. Jim is here. Welcome, Jim. Matt's here. Hey, Matt. It's good to see you back. Thank you for showing up tonight. The Sasquatch Hunter is here. Hello. How are you? First time, I think. Yeah, it's good.
You're a newbie. We call Lindsay doesn't like that word newbie, but that's.
I don't like newbie. I think. Well, you know, when you go to an expedition and you get new people and they're always a little bit nervous, you know, it's the first time that they've done an expedition sometimes, and then you call them a newbie, and I just think.
Well, rookie, virgin. What other word? I mean,
virgin,
newbie still.
Like, even rookie. Like, I was a rookie police officer once, and being called a rookie, it's like, thanks. But anyway, I appreciate the term, and it is quite endearing, but I try not to use.
Delphia's here.
Where was I? Sasquatch Hunter, welcome.
Calvin.
Calvin Bolin, hello, how are you doing? Delphia, hey, Delphia.
Brian Archibald.
Brian.
Hey, Brian.
Welcome back, Brian.
Miss you, buddy.
It's good to see you. I said to Charlie, you know, not too long ago, you should go back into teaching.
I love teaching. I really did.
I think in the summers, the vacations, and all that truth you can tell.
When you teach to middle schoolers or younger, they all like believe everything you say, and they
You shouldn't say that.
No, I'm just joking. It's very, very rewarding. So I really did enjoy it, and I have the mentality of a middle schooler. I really do. So I related very well to them.
True story.
That's true.
M.H. Vort. Hello. Jennifer Rape. Hey, Jennifer. Welcome. Where am I going? Oh, long list. Ron's here. Hey, Ron Bowles. Good to see you in the chat, Ron. Okay, I think we're all caught up. Anyway, good bunch of people, some wonderful researchers, friends, and family. So thank you all for being here.
Well, a couple things. You know, we're going to get into a lot of memories with Dr. Meldrum. We're going to get into his accomplishments. And throughout the evening, if you guys will post your comments up, if you want to share something that you remember about Dr. Meldrum, we'll try to share those tonight. We'll take our time. We won't rush through this. As we start, I really want to do a quick moment of silence. It depends on your religious beliefs. So we're not gonna pray. So whatever you want to do, but just a moment of silence. Let's just take 10 seconds here for a moment of silence in honor of Dr. Meldrum. I know he's looking down on us, and there's a lot of these podcasts that are honoring him this week and last week. So I know he appreciates it. His legacy is going to carry on. He accomplished so much. And I tell people this all the time. I don't think it's just my opinion. He was the #1 academic in support of Bigfoot. And there's a lot of great researchers out there, scientists that also support Bigfoot. But I think he was the leading spokesperson, if you will, one of the smartest men. He was soft-spoken. If you watch him on documentaries and such, he was quiet, and people listened. You don't have to be loud for people to listen. He was matter of fact. He stated history, stated research regarding these creatures. He amassed a huge collection of casts, I think over 300 casts at Idaho State University. Hopefully those casts will go on display somewhere, maybe a memorial at the university or in a museum. So we're hoping that, I'm pretty sure it will. I don't think they're going to get rid of all that stuff. So it was a shock. I have a lot of memories. I'll share a lot of my memories tonight as we go along. Is there anything you want to say, Lindsay, about?
No, I'm interested to know. I have some questions. I would like to know if you did have the honor of meeting Dr. Meldrum. Please put that in the chat. We'd love to hear your stories. We'd love to know if you got to hear any of his lectures, any of the conferences and many festivals that he attended. And he went to many this year too. So we're just wanting to share everybody's memories. I know Charlie's got lots, but guys, if you had the opportunity to meet him, do share. And we're interested also in his scientific beliefs about Bigfoot as well. Did they resonate with you? What are your thoughts? We don't mind getting controversial here. I'm sure he wouldn't mind. I'm sure he would appreciate the debate. So whatever you have to say, let's hear it.
Yeah, he was, as you know, he was a full-time professor at Idaho State University. He taught anthropology and anatomy. He had a PhD. Was it a PhD in anatomy or a PhD in anthropology?
I know.
Because he corrected me recently at the Red River Gorge Bigfoot Festival. He was here. And when I introduced him, I said he had a PhD in anatomy and a PhD in anthropology. He actually has a PhD in one of those, and the other one is like...
I can tell you.
Go tell me.
So his education, because I did do a little bit of background research today, he had a Bachelor of Science degree in zoology with a focus on vertebrate locomotion from Brigham Young University, dating back to 1982. He had a Master of Science degree in zoology, anatomy and physiology from Brigham Young University, dating back to 1984. And he was a Doctor of Philosophy in Anatomical Sciences, specializing in physical anthropology from Stony Brook University in 1989. His doctoral work focused on primate foot morphology and evolutionary adaptations.
So it was
very smart.
So the
individual.
The PhD was in actually anthropology, and as you guys know, he taught by bipedalism and locomotion, and how humans began to walk upright and such. And of course, Bigfoot fit right into that. And no, Bigfoot is not the missing link. So many people that are naive to the subject will say, "Oh, is Bigfoot the missing link?" No. Dr. Meldrum believed, or one of the speculations was that it was a descendant of Gigantopithecus. It lived about, was it 300 years ago in Asia, or 200 or 300 years ago in Asia, and it was bipedal, 10 foot tall, and he kind of thought Bigfoot was a descendant of Giganto, or another relic hominid. So we'll get into all those beliefs tonight as well. And our discussions, I've had a lot of discussions with Dr. Meldrum, riding in the car, going to the Airbnb, going to KFC. I had a lot of great discussions with him. So I'll share some of those tonight, but I'm gonna drag it out some so I don't talk the whole time. So
I just want to keep up with the chat because we are going to keep it very interactive tonight, guys. So keep your comments coming. We do want to hear everything that you've got to say. So Jamie saying he was the goat of Bigfoot research. So if you don't know what the goat is, it's the greatest of all time, and I think we can all agree on that. He definitely made his mark in this community.
oh, look, I didn't know that. MH.
Hold on.
Oh, look, that's exciting.
Debbie, we got to meet him at the festival in Stanton. He was so friendly and personable and had the biggest smile. He did, and he looked fantastic back then. I think that's part of the reason why we're all feeling a little bit shell-shocked, because having just met him at the very end of May, early June, just so shocking that the turn of events, it's incredible. But yeah, he did. He looked great, and he had a great smile too. Okay, which one are you looking at?
This one. This is big news.
Oh, it
So
is. Okay.
Cliff was able to inherit his track collection. That's amazing. That is wonderful. So now, I guess his entire track collection, like over 300 casts, Cliff's going to need a bigger museum. That would be remarkable. Think about it. If you went, I guess, to Cliff's museum in Oregon, you could walk through and look at all the casts. Oh my gosh, how incredible would that be?
Yeah, I mean, amazing collection. I mean, and I can't think of anybody better really for that collection to go to. Cliff's definitely got the place to display them. And again, super guy.
Well, actually, he doesn't have the space to display them. He's got the place. He his museum needs to grow now, probably double in size. He's going to need to buy a bigger museum.
I think he said he was doing that, didn't
Yeah,
he?
I think he was.
I think he did say that he was looking into
I don't want to
it.
let the cat out of the bag. I think we might have, but in other words, I think he's planning on making a bigger museum anyway. So this will be perfect. Awesome. That's great news.
Hey Frank, missed you in the roll call. Hey Ron, I've met him a few times and got to spend time together. He appreciated our conversations because I made him promise that we wouldn't talk about Bigfoot. He smiled and said, "Terrific."
Yeah,
I kind of get that, because it's like when you're in this community, everything is Bigfoot, you know. Every day it's Bigfoot.
Well, plus all day long, you talk to people at conferences or festivals, and that's all you talk about is Bigfoot, and usually it's the same questions over and over again, and you get worn out. So I know, Ron, that's smart, because a lot of us don't even want to talk, believe it or not. When we're done at the end of the day, we just want to be left alone. So it's probably refreshing to talk about something else besides Bigfoot.
All right, so I think that would have been very refreshing for him, Ron. The Sasquatch hunter, he had such a way with words. Nobody was as convincing. I remember when he first explained the Jacobs photos with Linda Moulton, how hopefully I said that right. His opinion changed, but I think he had the legs backwards.
Yeah.
Do you know what that is?
Yeah, the Jacobs photos were compared to, people thought they were monkeys on that game camera, or bears, sorry.
Oh, is that the one that looks a bit like a scrawny bear, skinny?
Right, the really long limbs, and one of them is looking under its legs, like a monkey-like behavior. Bears don't look between their legs like that. If you look at them, I think they're Bigfoot, they're juvies. The limb proportions don't match up to a bear, but that's my opinion. And people's opinions change. And what I liked about Dr. Meldrum, what the Sasquatch hunter mentioned there, I like to reiterate, when Dr. Meldrum spoke, you listened. He was very soft-spoken, very intelligent, used a lot of big words, which I had to think about, like, what does that mean? Oh, okay. And, and he put in the time, he put in the research, both book-wise, he was very book-smart, but also boots on the ground. I mean, he's been so many places investigating reports and Bigfoot locations where there's been habituations and such. Even in Kentucky, he was there with John Bendernagel at the Emergence project in Kentucky, and supposedly he got to see one of the Bigfoots in Kentucky at the Emergence project as well with John. So he had both. He was book smart and he was boots on the ground.
And he was a doctor. Yeah. Like, incredible that we had such academic capabilities on our side.
Yeah, that's what the loss is so great is. Well, yeah. He was our kind of like our leader in the academic community, specifically.
He wasn't a cheerleader.
No, he wasn't a cheerleader. He wasn't, he just stated very calmly his beliefs. I've never seen him argue with anybody. I've always seen him even on podcasts and elsewhere where he disagreed. He respectfully would disagree. He was a gentleman. He really was.
All credit to him. Hey Matt, Dr. Meldrum, every word from him was golden. So interesting and intelligent. Absolutely. Yeah. The kind of guy that you could just listen to. His voice just carried so well. Exhumed intelligence. So yeah. Thank you for that, Matt. Gabriel Guerrero.
Gabe.
Yes, met Meldrum at a conference, always enjoyed his input and knowledge on the Bigfoot subject. Yeah, he was very passionate about it. I mean, that was plainly evident.
When I'll slowly interject some of my meetings with Dr. Meldrum. I spoke at a lot of conferences with Dr. Meldrum, and a lot of times I was on panels sitting next to him, up on stage or whatever, and other times at festivals, I was sitting next to him, like the Red River Gorge. I helped plan that. So I purposely put our booth next to Dr. Meldrum's booth. I didn't get to talk to him a whole lot because the line of people was so long, but I did get to observe him interacting with the crowd. Mm-hmm. Now it's hot. Think about this. It's all day, hot. He had like no break all day. He had a small break. I think he went to the bathroom once. Lunch, somebody brought him lunch. He stayed at that table. And I was always taken back by this. And I again, just recently in May, just this past May, he had so much enthusiasm, so much energy when he would talk to the people coming up. And sometimes it was the same questions, the basic questions. What is a Bigfoot? Or what do you think they eat? Or basic questions that most of the time people get bored with. He was very enthusiastic, and he took the time to explain to children, to older people, anybody. He sat there and he was passionate about it. He was patient, and I admire him for that, because sometimes I would lose my patience. I get tired, and we all do. And yeah, sometimes. But anyway, I just admire that with him. He had a lot of patience dealing with people. and the same old questions. So I really look up to him for that.
Hey Mary, I am so glad that you had him at the Red River Gorge Bigfoot Festival. We got to meet him and get a photo with him. He was so nice, and hearing him speak was a real treat. I know. Yeah, I feel like it's a bit of a blessing that we did get him at the Red River Gorge this year. You know, it's still hard to believe that we won't be getting him back, because he would be the staple that you would want to return year after year. So I'm glad you got to meet him too, Mary.
Speaking of the Red River Gorge Bigfoot Festival, I know Dr. Meldrum would not mind this if he's listening from above. The Red River Gorge Bigfoot Festival just announced their first guest speaker tonight, which of course I knew because I helped pick them. Lyle Blackburn. Lyle Blackburn is going to be our first guest speaker for the festival next year on May 30th in the Red River Gorge. And we have a lineup planned. I can't tell you yet who's all picked out and who's agreed, but it's going to be bigger than last year, believe it or not.
Is it going to be 2 days?
No, it's still going to keep it one day, May 30th. We'll do the VIP dinner the night before. You get to meet and greet during the dinner. And then we have a huge lineup. But again, we're excited to have Lyle Blackburn as our first guest speaker.
Great news. He's such a great guy. I'm so sorry I missed that show with Lyle, because I would have enjoyed getting in on that one. I have questions that I never got to ask him, so I'll have to wait until next year. The Sasquatch hunter. I'm glad to hear Cliff Brackman got his collection. We will get to see it now. Yeah,
that's true, because most of us have never seen it because
it was at the university.
It was at the university. You have to go to Idaho and then get special permission to go in his lab, et cetera, et cetera. Now the whole thing will be on display.
Right. Hey Jonas, how are you? When did Dr. Meldrum meet Bob Gimlin from the Patterson-Gimlin film of a female Bigfoot in the 1967 documentary film? You know how old is Bob Gimlin? Is still alive today. I wanted to meet him. Yeah, I don't think
he's alive.
He is alive. I don't think he's going to many events of late. Yeah.
Yeah, his health is. He's getting older. I don't know when he got to meet Bob Gimlin. You'd probably have to ask AI or ChatGPT or Google, find out when they met. I don't know when they met.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a record of it.
I'll interject something important though. So some people know this, some people don't. You know, back in the day when Paul Freeman had a great cast collection. He had footprint casts, hand casts, and Meldrum back in the day was not really a Bigfoot believer. Believe it or not, he was more, I would say, skeptical about the whole thing about these casts that Paul Freeman had. So one day, Dr. Meldrum and his brother drove to Paul Freeman's house, knocked on his door, and wanted to see his cast collection. And Paul Freeman said, well, there's a fresh track up in the mountain now. Do you want to go look at the trackway? And they said, sure. So Paul Freeman drove Meldrum and his brother up the mountain to look at a fresh trackway. And right then and there, Meldrum was sold. That's when Meldrum became a full-fledged believer. It got him hooked because he thought this man is not lying. He can see the stride. He can see the gait. He could see the mid-tarsal break. He could see all these things in these tracks. And he goes, wow, this guy's not hoaxing. So a little piece of information there that some people might not have known.
All right. Where were we? Catch up real quick so we can move on a bit. Matt, the cast fell into perfect hands. Yes, they did. We agree. Shelby, hey Shelby. Cliff will definitely need an ad to add on. Yes, maybe it's time. Maybe this is his cue.
Well, you know, one thing Matt Moneymaker mentioned last week, which would be kind of neat. He mentioned putting them in like a huge van, a travel van, where it could actually go on tour and go to different conferences. It'd be pretty cool. Think about it. If you had this travel van of some sort, like a display, where somebody could drive it, you could go there and walk through the van and have a lot of the casts on display. Because I'm sure not all the casts are going to be very attractive. I bet she's got a lot of casts that are broken or missing toes or
Well,
pieces.
some casts are absolutely ugly, yeah, but they're still worth looking at.
But
They're
yeah,
still fascinating.
right. But he could probably tell you too, like, oh, this is important because it's part of this trackway or it had this morphology or such. So I'm sure every little piece means something. But what I'm getting at is you could take the cream of the crop from his collection, put them in a mobile van like Matt Moneymaker suggested, and then travel the country. Would be kind of neat.
Doing festivals.
Well, yeah, mainly conferences. You could do festivals too, I guess.
Same thing, just indoors.
Well, kind
outdoors.
of. Well, there's some different connotations to festivals. People think it's all, cotton candy and music and such, but it's not as serious. But it is. We have legit researchers like we did this year, but then you have other celebrities that aren't.
Same thing, indoor, outdoor.
It pretty much is, but some festivals.
It would be great to have the van roll up at the Red River Gorge Festival.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Year and give people the opportunity to walk through it. That would be amazing.
You know what I'm trying to say? Some festivals go overboard with the comedic and entertainment factor.
Okay.
I've been to some that are. It feels like you're pushing me off the camera.
I should think so, because last week I could barely get my face in. All you could see was Charlie's big head up at the camera. Sorry, we digress.
It's got a big brain.
All right, Elizabeth. Hey, Elizabeth, I miss you. It's going to be nice to see you in a few weeks. So glad Cliff will have Dr. Meldrum's tracks. That is wonderful news. It is indeed. Yeah, it is. I think we can all agree. Where are we? So, oh, interesting. The Sasquatch hunter, Joe Rogan, was hard on him, but Meldrum handled him well. I didn't know that Meldrum had been on the Rogan show.
I think Joe Rogan's a supporter now.
No, he's not.
He's not?
No,
I thought he was.
He kind of was, and then he kind of did a detour. I always think stuff like that is really fishy.
It's all the mushrooms he does. I think he does too many mushrooms.
I'm not a fan of Rogan. But anyway, I didn't know he'd been on there, so that's interesting. I bet it's on YouTube.
Oh, here's a good one when you get down there.
Hey, Nick.
Hey, Nick.
Matt, when I met Dr. Meldrum at the Texas conference in 2021, his handshake was sincere. His words were sincere, and his advice to me to never stop looking and learning and to follow my passion for Bigfoot. Yeah,
that is so true, Matt. That's one thing I forgot to mention, his sincerity. Sometimes you meet celebrities or people that will look away or not really make eye contact. He gave you his full attention. That's what I was trying to get at with these guests at the festival. He gave everybody his full attention.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you nailed it right there. He was a very genuine soul. I don't know which one you're pointing at.
That one.
But is it this one? Ron. Charlie, have you ever observed and quietly listened to Meldrum and Cliff talk shop? It was a fusion mentality combustion. Okay.
Yeah, they both are highly intelligent. I think Meldrum was a kind of a mentor to Cliff. Cliff looked up to him. Cliff learned a lot about tracks from Meldrum. So I can share one of my funny stories. I got to drive Cliff and Meldrum around to their Airbnb, to dinner and such. And hearing them talk, there's a great story recently. We were driving from the Red River Gorge Festival to their Airbnb, and we went for dinner first, and then we went to the Airbnb. But them talking about their experiences. And one of them was great. This one I'm going to bring up on the screen. I need to show you a picture real quick. Let me see if I can get it up here. Hold on one second. I got to bring it over here. I need to show you this picture because it's relevant to what I'm about to say. So let me grab this picture here. All right, let me make it larger. Hopefully, don't say it. All right, you guys know who this is, right? Ray Wallace. So Ray Wallace, of course, his track was taken in 1958. The interesting thing about Meldrum and Cliff talking about this, Meldrum, let me make this smaller because I feel like I can't even. Meldrum was in the car. He goes, I want to tell you something. I got to see the original Ray Wallace cast. And I think it was his son. He went to his son's house who had it. Anyway, or grandson. That doesn't matter. He got to see the cast from 1958. And he said what's interesting, in that photograph, it looked flat. You could not see the mid-tarsal break. And when I got to hold the cast, I can see the mid-tarsal break in that cast from 1958. And they did not know back in 1958 about the mid-tarsal break. That came much later, after many casts. We learned that much, much later. So they could not have hoaxed that. If you think about it, how would they know to make the tarsal break in 1958 when it was never even discussed? So Meldrum lit up when he was talking to Cliff and me in the car, telling that story that he got to hold that cast and see the mid-tarsal break. So that was a great story.
That's interesting, because I do think some of those casts back from Patty, some of them are a little bit flat,
Well, some of them are reproduced and copied so often that they lose a lot of their morphology and
like some of them are not convincing at all. So it's interesting that he did say that.
We got to see the original.
Yeah,
the
that's
original
what I mean.
cast.
It's good that he said that. Jonas. In the part of Squatch Mafia, Bigfoot Territory, episode 35, the Bossberg Cripplefoot, YouTube, Dr. Meldrum and Dr. Grover Krantz all cast collection and fossils from their Gigantopithecus for Bigfoot exist.
Yeah, that would be a good episode to watch, episode 35. It just made me think of this, and I thought of this before. I think we need to have 5 horsemen of Bigfoot now. I think we need to add Dr. Meldrum to the list, and there needs to be 5 horsemen. 5 horsemen. We need to make it official.
Yeah, I don't think that would hurt at all. It would definitely be very fitting.
Ron Bowles. Jim Dodge says, it was a pleasure hanging out with them at the festival. Thank you, Charlie. It was a highlight of your life. It was, Jim. We had great conversations, and it was a treat. It really was to spend time with them.
And then, I feel privileged because after the festival, and it was such a long and busy day, and all the speakers, their lineups were so long. They barely got time to breathe. It was so busy, and they were constant. There was no lunch breaks. I think somebody brought around, what did they bring? Anyway, everybody got a little bite to eat, but it was constant, non-stop. Meldrum, Cliff, Mountain Monsters, everybody was swamped, Charlie included. But afterwards, we got to, I don't want to get emotional because I find it, this kind of stuff really upsetting, but afterwards, when we were talking about we should go get something to eat, nobody really got time to take a break or, satiate themselves. We went to a place in Stanton called Toads, and it's a beautiful little place out in the Red River Gorge. Great location, general bar food, like easy going. Cliff and Meldrum and Dr. Meldrum both stuck their hands up to go there so that we could just go sit back and relax. And it was just an absolute pleasure. There was a small group of us. We just sat around a table and we ate fries and I don't know, I think somebody had pizza, and it was just, that to me is something I'll never forget, because it was just an opportunity to hear him just speaking completely relaxed, you know, talking about the things that he enjoyed. It was just a pleasure and a privilege. I'm so honored to have been a part of that. I'm so glad that we did get him to speak in the Red River Gorge Bigfoot Festival back in May.
Yeah.
It's so sad that he won't be back, but yeah, that's my greatest memory of him sitting around that bar table, just sharing fries, and I had a cocktail. I think he had a soft drink. I think Cliff had a beer. You probably had a pop, and then Jim and Melissa were with us, as well as Shelby, I think. So it's a good little group.
Yeah, we're fortunate to have great memories with them.
It is a great memory.
I'll share another memory at the West Virginia Festival last year, or early this year. I get the years confused. As the West Virginia Festival, we both spoke there, and I was driving him back to the motel, and we wanted to get something to eat, so we stopped at KFC. Now, first of all, let me paint you a picture. I had my Prius. Do you know how small a Prius is? So I fit in it okay. Meldrum's a big guy. I mean, he's as big as Ron Bowles almost. And
anybody know how tall he was? He was super tall.
He was very tall, big man. He had to crouch down to get in my Prius. And I apologize. I'm so sorry. He goes, "Oh, it's fine, it's fine." He goes, "Let's get some KFC." And he goes, "I love their sauces." He's a very saucy man. He goes, "I want to get some of the chicken fingers, and I want to get this sauce and this sauce and this sauce." Like, he wanted a couple different sauces, but it was his excitement about the sauces was kind of neat. And in my car on the way there, I had chips, the pheromone chips from the Skookum cast that they use. They're in a little, you can order them online. They're orange, and they're the Sasquatch pheromone chips, and they stink really bad, but they were in a container. I had them in my car. I go, "Oh, look, Dr. Meldrum, I have a chip if you'd like one." He laughed. He told me, he goes, joking, he goes, "Yeah, I wonder how they got that pheromone from that gorilla." And he started to laugh. I go, "Yeah, I don't know. But it must have been a tricky job to get the pheromones from that gorilla." And we started laughing. And then he goes, "Do you know they use those when they obtained the Skookum cast," which Dr. Meldrum was a big part of the Skookum cast, which I'm going to show a picture here in a second. He said they hung one of those chips up near that pile of fruit in the muddy area, and something took the chip that was up 8 foot high. Something had removed it, and then they got the Skookum cast. I'm going to show you a picture here in case I know a lot of you guys know about the Skookum cast. But here's Meldrum with a picture of it. And let me just grab this screen share real quick. So a lot of you know about the Skookum cast. I'm going to try to zoom in for you some. That might even be the Achilles. Now, again, he has a PhD in anthropology. He knows what an Achilles tendon is, a heel Achilles tendon. It was, I think, 4 times the size of a human's.
Is that Meldrum?
That's Dr. Meldrum.
He looks so handsome.
He was younger, yeah. He was young. Good-looking guy.
I kind of like the stash on him.
Yeah. He's a good-looking guy.
Good. He looks good there.
So that was one of the pictures. And another picture, let me try to pull it up where it kind of shows you more. That was the heel. I was right. I don't know if you guys can see this. Sorry. Let me try to. There's another picture real quick. I got to figure out where to do this. So this one here shows you a little bit better what each part is. So again, Dr. Meldrum was involved with the Skookum cast, his analysis of it. He definitely think it was a Bigfoot, not an elk or any other animal, because this whatever made this laid down in the mud to get the fruit. He can see the Achilles in the heel, which was human-like, was not an elk or anything else. There's a lot of people out there that have no experience, will make crap up on social media just to get the likes, and they don't know what they're talking about. So I hate that. But you got to go with the experts. And I've always followed Dr. Meldrum, although I didn't always agree with him. So I have another funny story. I've talked to him many times about the Homo sapien DNA and a lot of the DNA samples. And, he was more a proponent that Bigfoot is a descendant of Gigantopithecus, more of a gorilla. And I was more supportive that Bigfoot is more got some Homo sapien in it. And I would explain to him many times, sitting next to him, in fact, at the Red River Gorge conference festival, we talked about how I think there's Homo sapien in there, that all the samples are not contaminated, that I think there is some Homo sapien because all the eyewitnesses I've spoken to said to me they looked human-like in the face, and they had a wide hooded nose. I even asked Meldrum about the hood on the nose. I said, Dr. Meldrum, just because some people had told me that pertains to climate. He said, no, it doesn't. It's not to do with climate, which kind of boasts my case that these things have some Homo sapien in them. He thought a lot of the samples were contaminated. So a funny story, at the VIP dinner, we're talking to people, and I happened to be talking to some people, and I was talking about Homo sapien DNA in a lot of the samples. And I said, I don't think they're contaminated. I think there's really Homo sapien in the DNA and some other unknown as well, based on my research from talking to witnesses as well. And they're looking at me, and they got this scared look on their face, and they're looking behind me. And I go, what? Is he standing behind me? I turn around, and Dr. Meldrum is standing right behind me listening. He goes, no, go ahead. Don't keep going. I'm listening. He was very respectful. He didn't laugh. He didn't say, oh, come on, Charlie, they're all contaminated. He said, no, I'm interested. So much so, the next day, because that was a VIP dinner, he asked for a copy of my book, which I was honored. He actually said, can I get a copy of your book? I said, yeah, it'll be $15.95. No, I didn't say that. I happily signed it and gave him.
No, it was $15.
Or whatever, but it was funny though. But he wanted to see that book. So I got to backtrack now about a year prior. Okay. Now I met Meldrum many times. We had a lot of discussions about the red-haired giants, the elongated skulls and the reddish hair. And he explained, that's what do you call binding? And they would bind them, and it's nothing to do with Bigfoot. And we had a lot of discussions on different things. But about a year ago, I think it was in Bowling Green, Jim Wilcox wanted to give away my books.
Jim is a KBRO investigator. He's a member of the team.
And he was in Bowling Green. We could not be there. He was going to set up a booth and give out my books as prizes or something. And Dr. Meldrum came over, and he saw my book. This is, again, he didn't know my book or from, I don't know. So Jim said, oh, is that your book? He's looking at it, has my name on it. He goes, are you Charlie Raymond? He goes, and Jim goes, no, I'm Jim Wilcox. I'm giving the book away as a prize. Oh, that's about a year ago. And Jim and Dr. Meldrum and I had many discussions prior to that. But in his defense and everybody's defense who does these conferences, and you meet so many people, so many researchers over years and years and years, you get everybody confused. You can't remember who's who. It's very common. So I'm not at all upset about that, that he didn't know that was my book and not Jim's book. But I'm glad that this year he actually got to get a copy of my book. So
It's in his collection.
It probably took him all of 10 minutes to read it.
We should talk about your book that's coming out.
Oh, you guys, yeah. My second book is coming out October 4th, is it? Or
Yes.
5th? It's
4th.
October 4th. It's a Saturday. There's a book launch at the Daniel Boone Cafe in the Red River Gorge. I'll be there. A bunch of my new books, signing them, and you get to get the first copy. It comes out October 4th. So that's exciting.
It is. All right, let me get caught up here.
More questions?
Well, comments really. I'm just interested
comments,
in what
yeah.
people have got, their interaction with Dr. Meldrum over the years. Jonas, in a book I've read from the Chicago Library, I see Ray Wallace holding it. It was the famous Bigfoot cast. It's about 17 inches to 4 feet long or something.
Yeah, that's the cast I showed earlier.
Yeah.
From 1958. And that's the one that Meldrum said back then the photography, the cameras weren't as advanced. So in the newspaper, it looked flat. The Ray Wallace cast looked flat. And he said when he got to see it in person, and he can tell it had a mid-tarsal break in it, you couldn't know that back in 1958. You didn't know that.
Yeah, good point. All right. Hey, Nick. Good to see you. Thanks for coming. When I had my encounter in 2015 and had a trackway in the snow in my front yard watching Dr. Meldrum break down the distinguished footprints that there's something missing there. The mid-tarsal break was what lit me up with excitement when I seen the trackway in the snow. So I went and bought $300 worth of plaster. That's a lot, Nick. And began casting the prints. Meldrum's research confirmed my sighting for me and the anatomy of the Sasquatch footprint. That's wonderful.
Wow.
Yeah. What a wonderful memory.
That's a good memory. We've all learned something from Dr. Meldrum. I would kid you not. I bet you if you asked every Bigfoot researcher, every Bigfoot enthusiast that has followed Dr. Meldrum, or his students, think about all the students who've learned from him. He taught so many people so many things. We're very appreciative of him.
And guys, Nick's sighting, his interview is on our YouTube channel at KY Bigfoot. If you're interested, it's an amazing sighting, and he tells it so well. We've shared it a few times, but if you've not seen it, definitely go find it. It's wonderful.
Nick's got the best personality.
Yeah.
I wish Nick lived closer. We'd hang out all the time because he's so much fun.
Yeah. Shelby. I have a funny memory. I went to Utah to Phenomicon, I think I said that right, with my dad. His discussion was about Sasquatch body parts, and he had a picture of a gorilla private parts on the screen forever during his talk.
Forever.
So he had some gorilla junk on his PowerPoint.
It's funny. It's the only thing you remember, Shelby. Yeah. Dirty Shelby. No, I'm just joking. But people ask that question a lot about Bigfoot's anatomy, and is it more like a human or more like a dog?
They do.
Like a dog, it kind of retracts, like the red part that retracts in like a dog's.
The lipstick.
Yeah, kind of like the lipstick that goes back in like a dog, or is it more like a human? As we all know, I'm not trying to be too funny, but we all know it's more like a human from the witnesses.
So you're Jim Dodges, Shelby's dad. I told Dr. Jeff that story on the way to Stanton from the airport.
I bet he laughed.
He laughed. How did that go down, Jim? Jim picked him up from Lexington Airport for the Stanton Red River Gorge Bigfoot Fest. All right, Matt, it would be very difficult to contaminate the DNA inside of a Sasquatch tooth. Yes, it would.
Right. And nowadays, I hear, again, no expert. They can wash it. They can do things. The other thing is the one discussion I have with Dr. Meldrum in Kentucky about the Emergence project when they got the DNA. Layla was an environmental biologist, and she was hired to collect the DNA. So I'm pretty sure she used sterile techniques to collect that blood sample with the Emergence project. So I find it hard to believe that all the DNA samples are contaminated. All the ones out there that have Homo sapien in it are contaminated. I strongly doubt it. I think there's some legit samples. I think there's Homo sapien in there. That's just my belief.
Well, to contaminate the inside of a tooth, like the gooey bit, with human DNA, would have to be deliberate. You would have to really get something inside there if they're taking it from the interior of the tooth. The exterior, yeah, I can understand, because you can pick it up and you can get touch DNA so easily, especially if you're a big sweaty guy. But the inside part, I don't know. I find that kind of hard to believe that could happen.
Well, too, when they get the tooth and they get it to the lab, usually it's a sterile environment. They have gloves on, all the things. And when they open the tooth up, you think they'd be very careful not to contaminate it.
The scientists,
yeah,
you would think, I don't know.
Hoping the hair study from North Carolina comes back. There'd be a lot of supposed Bigfoot hairs. There's a study now. I'm hoping something comes from that.
Otter. Hello.
Hello, Otter.
Hi. Shelby, yes, and every time you think you change it. Nope.
Shelby, you weren't like grinning during that presentation, were you? Did you have to hide your mouth? Shelby's like this.
Blushing.
Shelby's like, oh my God, it's still on the screen.
I'd be blushing. All right. Okay.
Well, we got to wrap this up.
Well, I wrote some facts down that I don't know if anybody's interested in. But it would be a shame not to share them.
Go ahead.
I don't know if we'll get the opportunity.
Well, go ahead. Share some information that's important.
So, under categories, guys, and very basic, but I'm going to read them off anyway. So, Dr. Meldrum's early life. He was born in May. No, actually, he was born on May 24th, which made him what? Capricorn? No.
I don't do the horoscopes.
Taurus? I think Taurus. Born May 24th, 1958 in Pocatello in Idaho. Is it Pocatello? Anybody from that area? He developed a fascination for animals, anatomy, and locomotion from an early age. And his date of passing away was September the 9th, 2025, at the age of 67. What?
Nothing. I'm just looking at what you have there.
Okay. He's waving at me to say something. I'm like, what is it? Because it's all very basic stuff. We went over his education, his academic career. He served as a visiting assistant professor at Duke Medical Center from 1989 to 1991, where he taught anatomy to medical students. He held a faculty appointment at Northwestern University before moving to Idaho State University. He joined Idaho State University in 1993 as a professor of anatomy and anthropology, a position he held until his passing in 2025.
That's amazing. I remember reading this today. He started there as a professor in 1993. So think of how many years is that? 1993, he was a professor at Idaho State University up until now, 2025. So that's just go 25 years, goes back to there. And then 7. So what's 25 and 7? 32? 32 years.
You're the math teacher.
I know, I was doing it in my head. 32 years. Wow, that's a long time. That's a long time. You know, interesting thing he told me, I remember talking about, we're talking about AI and kids now, you know, they can write a paper using AI and I know universities have software that can detect the AI and such. He told me that he would let his kids have open book tests. He says, as long as they don't copy each other, it was completely open book, open internet. So he'd give them the test and they would have to look up the answers, but they still have to do the research to find, and then you have to check your sources. That's the other important thing. It taught them that not everything on the internet's true. You need to look at other sources or other examples on the internet from sources and compare them and decipher what is true and what's not true, because there's a lot of bogus stuff, as you know, on the internet. So I thought that was interesting.
That's very smart.
It's very smart because, you know,
its test shouldn't be on
just memorizing,
on how good you are at retaining information for a short amount of time.
Exactly.
You know, because I know my retention, when I ever studied for tests, I would cram at last minute and I'd scrape through, and the week later I wouldn't be able to tell you a thing.
So I like that. It was killing two birds with one stone. It was, you know, it decreases the temptation to cheat, so to speak. But then it also teaches them how to research and to look at what's legit research on the internet.
I think that's smart.
It's a valuable lesson. So I thought that was interesting.
Okay. Yeah, you know, it's just gone up in my, I appreciate that because I think schools would be crazy. So served as an adjunct professor in both the physical and occupational therapy departments, as well as in anthropology. And he taught human anatomy, sectional anatomy, and organic evolution courses, leaving a profound impact on thousands of students. I mean, oh my, what an intelligent guy. And what an honor to have him in the Bigfoot community. Like, all of that is just incredible. Do you want me to keep going a little bit?
Well, yeah, read some more. One thing I forgot, and you guys know this, a lot of you, of course, the book Sasquatch Legend Meets Science. That's a great book. I highly recommend it. And then the documentary was made after that. I'm pretty sure it was after. I can't think what came first, the book or the documentary. But anyway, there's a new one coming out, Sasquatch Legend Meets Science 2. Not sure how much Dr. Meldrum was involved with that one.
Matt, how hard would it be to get Cliff Breckman back on the Bigfoot Hangout?
Maybe we might. Let's finish this.
Okay.
We'll try, Matt.
All right. Research and contributions. So Dr. Meldrum was recognized worldwide as an expert in vertebrate locomotion, particularly the evolution of primate and hominin feet. He conducted in-depth studies of fossil hominin footprints, helping to refine understanding of human evolution and gait. He was the author of Sasquatch Legend Meets Science.
That's what I just said.
Yes, I know. A widely respected book blending scientific inquiry with evidence for relict hominids.
Oh, this one's big too, yeah.
Hominoids.
Yeah. Right. So hominin with an N is more human-like. With a D, I think he corrected me this recently too. So now he wished there was one. Like instead of hominin with an N or hominids with a D. I remember just speaking to him about this, about having only one, I think with the D, it encompasses everything. Instead of separating the human-like ones with the N, which, you know, or the D, the more gorilla ape, you know. So he was.
Well, some of the human ones look very gorilla-like.
Well, yeah, he was kind of talking to me about there should be one term. And he also said, I remember talking to him a long time ago about it. He said anthropology is very dynamic. We don't, of course, have all the answers. It's changing daily of what we know. There's new discoveries, like the recent Denisovan skull in China, the Dragon Man skull, the homology, I think it's called. That's a recent find of Denisovan. So anthropology is very dynamic. It's it changes a lot. And he's the one that told me that.
All right. So getting back to his contributions to the Bigfoot community, he was editor-in-chief of the peer-reviewed journal Relict Hominoid Inquiry, which offered an academic platform for serious discussion of Sasquatch and related phenomena.
And there's a website, I believe it's still out there. You can get to it maybe through Idaho State University. You could get to the website regarding this peer-reviewed paper, and it really opened the door to discuss Sasquatch as a yet to be classified hominid. So again, this is an academic now taking Bigfoot serious, and there wasn't a whole lot before him. Dr. Grover Krantz, of course, was, but
and there isn't any left
today. That's what I'm saying. And today, there's not a lot of that come to mind. Academics. I
don't think there's any
as large as Dr. Meldrum. So.
Maintained a laboratory collection of over 300 Sasquatch footprint casts, one of the most comprehensive archives of its kind. Yeah, so thankfully that's going to go to Cliff Brightman, and we can all enjoy those for years to come. He was the co-editor of From Biped to Strider, The Emergence of Modern Human Walking, Running and Resource Transport, a scholarly work exploring the mechanics of human gait. So again, he did his background research.
That's what I'm saying. There's nobody bigger than Dr. Meldrum was in terms of the anatomy of Bigfoot.
In 2007, formally proposed I can't even say this word. The Icotexin anthropoidipes. Oh my God! Say that.
What?
Here.
Oh my gosh, those are too big. But again, it's including
Ichnotoxin anthropoidipes emeriberalis.
Basically, he was giving scientific terms to Bigfoot feet and the tracks, and
it's classifying purported Sasquatch footprints within scientific taxonomy.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. He added so much to Bigfoot research. He's going to be sorely missed.
Yeah.
Also, before we forget, and we took a moment of silence in the beginning, but prayers out to his family and good friends. I know it's still hard. We pray for peace, and we pray for comfort and strength during this time. But his memory, his legacy is going to go forward, and we will always cherish his work and our times with him.
I just got a few more things that I made some notes on that I just want to get out there. So his field work and discoveries, because people who are listening, they may not be 100% sure on who he was or his contributions. So I think it's important that we recognize him for the great man that he was. So his field work and discoveries. In 1996, he personally encountered a trackway of 15-inch footprints in southeastern Washington, solidifying his lifelong dedication to Sasquatch research.
I'm pretty sure that was Paul Freeman's trackway.
Yeah, it would be. 1996, yeah. He conducted collaborative fieldwork and research around the world, including South America, Asia, and Russia. He investigated reports of Sasquatch tracks and related evidence across North America and beyond, bringing academic rigor into cryptozoology investigations. He promoted respect for indigenous knowledge and oral traditions, integrating them alongside physical and scientific evidence. I don't think we went into all the TV shows that he was a part of. Like there were
countless,
so many
documentaries.
So many.
And I remember there was a lot of them, and I can't. There's some that I remember. You know how sometimes people will do an interview with you, and then through editing and such, the show kind of changes a little bit. And you know, I've been there. Well, not as much, but my point is, still, even though the show could take a turn and become kind of what's the word? Not hokey, but not as believable. Still, even though he was on there as a an expert, when you listen to him, you're like, okay, this guy knows what he's talking about. You know, you just knew. And I know the rest of the show. I don't know about the rest of the show, but you know that's how TV series are and documentaries. They can kind of twist it a little bit, and even though you were part of it, it's not kind of what you intended. I can't think of what the show was, but when you listen to him, you knew he's legit. I don't know about the rest of this stuff, but that guy knows what he's talking about.
All right, last bit. So a few lines on his personal life and his legacy. So he was an active member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, balancing faith with a lifelong devotion to science. He is remembered as a kind, patient, and approachable mentor to students and colleagues alike. He frequently appeared in documentaries and media programs, bringing the divide between academia and public curiosity. Despite criticism from some of the scientific community, he stood firm in his pursuit of evidence for relict hominoids, inspiring countless researchers and enthusiasts, which is so true.
Amen.
He's remembered not only as a groundbreaking scientist, but also a family man who passed away surrounded by his loved ones, and he leaves a legacy of courage, curiosity, and the relentless pursuit of truth.
Yes. Amen. Again, God bless his family and his close friends, and we will continue to honor Dr. Meldrum. I'm sure I quote him often when I give my presentations or in conversations. I'll mention his name quite often. So that's you know, it's still tough. It's still hard to accept, but
it is very, and I think it will be for a while, and that's okay. It takes a while.
Well, we want to. I think we got to most of the questions. We want to thank everybody for coming on.
Hold on.
Oh, do you have a?
Yes, hold on. Okay, so thank you everybody for your contribution in the chat. It's very much appreciated. There's some wonderful memories and comments that we shared tonight. So want to mention this. Can you bring that up?
They can't see that. Okay, hold on. Lindsay wants to show you something. So Lindsay's excited about this. So let me see if I could get it to stop sharing the screen. What is this, Lindsay? I'm about to show.
So he's bringing up Hidden Realm Outdoors. So it's our online store that we use for KBRO, for the Bigfoot Hangout, for the Soul of the Coop. But not only that, we're currently running, we're dropping tons and tons of Halloween merch, and I'm absolutely loving it. It's so much fun.
Ooh, that's pretty cool. I like that one.
That's a hand towel.
Oh, but I like the image.
Yeah, okay. So that is a good one, yeah.
Is that on some shirts and such?
Yeah, it's on a t-shirt.
Oh, where's the shirt?
Look, go up. Where's the t-shirt? All right, go down.
All right.
I don't know. There's tons of Halloween.
Oh, this one's kind of neat.
Yeah, bring that one up.
All right. I like that one too, bruh.
Can you see it?
I'm trying to make it larger. There it is. That's pretty cool.
Family show. Yeah.
Oh, we need to move. Let's see. You can't see it on there. Why is that? Let me make it smaller. I'm over here.
Don't make
Sorry.
it smaller.
Well, It's not wanting to show up.
Anyway, we're struggling. Guys, if you're interested in Halloween Bigfoot merch, we've got tons of it, and there's still so much to come. I think we've dropped about 3 or 4 lines this week. And I've got like tons more still to come out. I don't even know if I'm going to have time to get them all out in time for Halloween, but I'm going to keep trying because I absolutely love it. And some of this stuff, it's amazing. Like I want all of it, all of it.
That's creepy.
Look at the shower curtain.
That's a creepy shower curtain. Look, he's got a knife in his hand.
Yeah, like it's proper Halloween stuff. I love it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so go to hiddenrealmoutdoors.com for all your Bigfoot merch, but particularly the Halloween stuff.
I'll put it in the comments there.
Some amazing stuff coming out and lines dropping almost daily.
It's in the comments if you guys want to go there and look at it. Lindsay's working hard at all this fun Halloween merch. So,
and the other thing, do you want to talk about where we're going tomorrow?
Oh yeah. This weekend, if you guys are in Kentucky, we'll be at Upton Days. It's a festival it's kind of down by Mammoth Cave, right off I-65, and they have every half hour activities, contests, games, the craziest things. They have a nail driving contest. Who can drive a nail in a board, I guess, the quickest. They have a tractor pull, not with 2 tractors. 4 men or 4 women, a team of 4, have to pull a tractor. They also have a buggy pull. So this is an Amish buggy and or some sort of buggy, and then you have a team of 4, and you have to pull the buggy. They've come up with some crazy contests. They have the typical cakewalk and dancing and beauty contests. We will be there. I will be speaking some point during the day. We are excited because we're going to be in the parade at 10 o'clock in the morning. We're going to decorate the truck. Lindsay's going to be back there waving like this. Hi, everybody.
I think that's a royal wave.
Yeah. So some people kind of joking about us being in a parade for KBRO. But you know what?
Who's joking?
I don't want to tell you now, but I just want to say something. If we could turn people on, kids, naysayers, people that are on the fence, and they get to come there because of all the silliness, but then they get to hear me speak on the science, the research, and I get them hooked. I get them questioning. I get them going in the woods. I get them reading books about Bigfoot, watching documentaries. It's a win-win. It gets them in the woods. It gets them away from technology. So yeah, the fun and games, it's, kind of silly and stuff, but we want to have fun too doing this. But if we can get people hooked on Bigfoot and do serious research, that's a win in my book. So again, Upton Days, Kentucky, Google it. It's everywhere. You can find the event on Facebook and look at the schedule. They have a free concert Friday night. So if you get there tomorrow night, there'll be a free concert, and then just tons of activities throughout the day on what you doing? Throughout the day on Saturday. So that's what's coming up. So thank you guys so much for joining us tonight.
It's going to be a great weekend, guys. Looks like the weather's going to be wonderful too.
Yeah.
Before I shut up and let Charlie close out, I'm just going to thank Matt for this comment. Thank you, Matt. Hit that like button and share, guys. It really, really does help us out. If you've enjoyed the show tonight, which I hope you have, because it's come from the heart, lots of great things shared concerning Dr. Meldrum. Please hit the like button. Drop us a heart. It means a lot.
Again, thank you guys for joining us. We wish we didn't have to talk about this tonight, of course. But again, prayers to his family for strength and comfort and peace. Good night, everybody.
Good night, guys.